Hi, this is Kiana Freeman, and I am doing my informative speech over ADHD. This is speech 3 for me, and I'm having to redo it, Mr. Drennan, for you because you could not receive my first speech as well. Please excuse the way I talk because I'm very ill at the time. So my speech may sound a little stuffy or blurry. I do apologize about that. What I'm about to do now is hold up my reference page for you, just to verify and show you that I did complete my reference page for you. My speech today is over ADHD, and I do apologize that I don't have an audience due to I'm having to redo my speech. Thank you. ADHD. How many people think they live a normal life or have kids you think that are fairly normal for their ages? Well, did you know McNeil Consumer and Specialty Pharmaceuticals out of Fort Washington, Pennsylvania states that a medical condition called ADHD affects millions of children and teens every year. That's approximately 8 to 10 of the school-age population. Before determining an ADHD diagnosis, medical professionals will use written criteria as well as a series of diagnostics evaluations. Cause, effect, and treatment are the 3 areas of ADHD I will inform you about today. First, what causes ADHD? Or how do you know if your child is ADHD? According to Thomas E. Brown, Ph.D., and Yale University Press, which produced the novel Attention Deficiency Disorder, states ADHD is a chemical problem that undermines the management system of the brain. ADHD overlaps with impairments in which neuropsychologists call executive functions, meaning ADHD interferes with circuits that prioritize, integrates, and regulates other cognitive functions. Secondly, what symptoms to be aware of, or how you are able to tell whether a child may have signs of ADHD. There are 3 types of ADHD. They are predominantly hyperactive, impulsive type, and inattentive type, and combined type. Hyperactive is impulsive or inappropriate or excessive activity and causes a person to harm another person or himself. Inattention is having a short attention span and being easily distracted. Combined type is when the child shows 6 or more symptoms of the 2 I stated before, inattention or hyperactive. Both kids fall under the subtype, but many wasn't noticed until their adult ages. I'm sorry. What type of treatment can be used to help control ADHD? Different treatments can be used to help with this disorder. For example, medications such as Concerta or Risperdal can be used to help slow the child hyperactivity down and allow the child to think and focus more and remain calm. You can go to CVS Pharmacy and ask for a drug monograph printouts of these drugs, and then provide them with you at no charge. Another treatment is psychological counseling. By attending counseling, you allow the child a chance to openly express him or herself and have their one-on-one time. The last but not least type of treatment you can give a child is love, TLC. Showing your child you love him or her is the best way or any kind of medication that you could possibly use. That's the best medication in the world, of course. In conclusion, now that you have been informed about the causes and effects and treatment of ADHD, take a minute to inform someone else. So many kids in the world today are either being chosen as a bad child or easily just thrown to the side because they're known as a troublemaker in schools. But if you look closely at a child and monitor child behavior more, you will then realize that a child may have a possibility of being diagnosed with ADHD. It's a serious disorder that is very, very overwhelming in our schools today. Many kids are either put in ISS or either sent to alternative school because there are too much to handle in the classroom. I myself am experiencing this matter because I have a son who's the age of 8 and was diagnosed with ADHD at the age of 4. We first thought that he was just a troubled child. Having problems in school, couldn't stay still, was always in the middle of something. He would always finish his schoolwork more than other kids would. But after that, he would then find other things to get into, and because of that, that seemed to disturb the classroom or disrupt the class, and also it made the teacher more agitated than normal. By him having to have more attention focused on him, they then decided to do a psychological evaluation on my son, which then was the reason as to why he was placed in a mental hospital. In the mental hospital, he then went through different stages of diagnosis and tests, which would then determine that he was ADHD. They also concluded that he was bipolar, but they then later ruled out bipolar. From there on, that point on, my son was then diagnosed with ADHD, and he has been under a program called Next Step, where they do intense therapy with him, counseling. He has group counseling and home counseling, and he also had one-on-one sessions. He also was given the medication Risperdal and Concerta, which helped him. They had to play around with it at first, but once they actually got it together, it helped him calm and focus more on his schoolwork. By him having the trouble he did in school, it did set him behind some. So he lacked the skills of reading. My son is now 8 years old, and he's on a first grade reading level. But he's progressing slowly, and he's made a lot of progress within the last year. ADHD, like I said, is a very serious disorder. You never know if a child may have it, and it's not really caught until later on in a child's adulthood life. I hope my speech today have informed you, and I hope it can help you, or you can help someone else today with the information I have provided with you. Thank you very much. This is Kiana Freeman speech for 1101. Have a wonderful day.